I don't know about you, but I love a good steak. Now this is my pan-seared Scotch fillet with creamed leeks and horseradish sauce. When you know how to cook a perfect steak, you'll always be able to put up a dish to impress. All you have to do is start with quality ingredients, throw together some great tasting side dishes, and you can't go wrong. I'll show you how to make my pan-seared steak with creamed leeks and horseradish. I think you're gonna absolutely love it. You want to get your steaks out of the fridge well ahead of time. You can see I've put mine right here. Let them come up to room temperature. With the Scotch fillets, you're looking for a vibrant colour with white flecks of fat through the meat. It's called marbling, and it's going to render out as the steaks cook, keeping the meat moist and juicy. The first thing I'm going to do is make a vinegar reduction for the cream leeks. You need a small pan, just like this one right here, and I'm going to use half sherry vinegar and half white wine vinegar to add to the pan. And then I've got some shallots, which I've finely chopped, and some parsley stalks. Now we're going to let that come up to the boil. Of course, it's called a reduction for that reason. It's going to reduce down over a medium-high heat until it's almost dry. To cook the leeks, you melt the butter in a large wide pan, and then you go ahead over a medium heat, add your leeks and season it with salt and pepper. Now you want to saute the leeks for about 15 minutes or until they're tender, but you want to do it without colour. You don't want them to caramelise. The reason that you're reducing the vinegar, of course, is to intensify the flavour, because you end up with a lot less volume, but all that beautiful acidic flavour. So it really is very, very punchy. Now, once it's reduced down to absolutely nothing or a couple of teaspoons of liquid, go ahead, remove those parsley stalks, take that reduction and add it to your leeks, but not before the leeks have sweat down, they're nice and soft and there's no liquid left. Now, stir in the reduced shallot vinegar mixture and then add the cream. So reduce it to a medium-low heat and cook for about 5 to 6 minutes. It's going to thicken that cream, it'll just coat the leeks. So once it's had 5 or 6 minutes, you remove it from the heat. I'm going to pop it down here on my trivet and then add just that last little bit of butter. That's going to give it that perfect little richness. You want to have a wire rack ready for resting the steaks. I stick it over an oven tray just like this so they're not sitting in their juices while they're resting. All right, next, you want to get yourself these beautiful ribeyes. I brush them with just a little bit of olive oil. The truth is that gorgeous marbling will mean you don't need much oil at all, but I still just brush them ever so lightly, just like that. And then season them with coarse sea salt and some freshly ground black pepper. Now be generous because of course you're seasoning the steak on the outside. Don't forget, it's impossible for you to season the inside of the steak, so make sure you use plenty of salt and pepper. Okay, in a nice hot pan. Now this part's important. Whether it's a cast iron pan, non-stick, doesn't matter. You can even go outside and do it on the barbie. But a medium to high heat is essential because you want to get that beautiful sear. Okay, here we go. The side that you seasoned, of course, is the side that goes into the pan. And then we can season this side of the steak while it's cooking. Now, your steak should be caramelised on each side, and for a medium rare, oh look at that, beautiful golden brown, it's exactly what you want. Gorgeous. For medium rare, there should be only a slight bit of resistance when you press on the top of that steak. Once you've given the steaks 2 or 3 minutes, go ahead and remove them. I literally take them over to my resting rack here, place your steaks on, and then with any of that excess fat, you can go ahead straight over the top like so. Now, you can use the juices left in the pan to make your sauce, and if the pan looks dry, just add a teaspoon of oil. So take your shallots, they've been finely chopped, give it a little shake around. Now, because we've cut it nice and fine, it'll only take about 30 seconds or a minute to soften. Stir in the beef stock and the cream, let it come up to a boil. There's my beef stock. Once you add the cream and the beef stock, it's going to simmer for about 3 to 4 minutes. Then the sauce will have reduced by about a quarter. Take it off the heat, stir in the horseradish cream, the mustard and the thyme. All of these flavours are a perfect match for the steak. My sauce is almost there. The last thing I need to do for those leeks, remember, is chop that parsley. Now what I do is I kind of roll it into a tight little ball, just like this. Hold it nice and tight, and then you can slice straight on through it with a nice sharp knife. Take your parsley, we're gonna add it to our leeks. Stir that in. Oh, the moment we've all been waiting for. This steak is gonna be so good. Bring it over here, that gorgeous Scotch fillet, also known as a ribeye. Now, I always cut my steak straight through. Oh, look at that. Perfect medium rare. I mean, looking at this beautiful, perfectly cooked steak, and you'll also notice there's no juice running all over my cutting board. To me, that's really important because what we're getting, you guys, is that perfect juice inside the steak. I can't even wait. I'm sorry. Forgive me. I just need to do it. I mean, you can just see how moist and juicy this steak's gonna be. And then add this to the other guy. Just like that. All that's left to do is serve this up to your friends or family, those melted leeks with that beautiful creamy sauce. It is just so delicious. You've gotta love the classics, don't you? Bon appetit, everyone. Don't mind if I do. Oh yeah.